Thanks for tuning in today for the Ohio AgNet podcast. I'm Matt Reese, the editor for Ohio's Country Journal, joined by Dusty Sonnenberg with Ohio AgNet. And today we welcome Sarah Talmadge. She is with the Ohio Farm Bureau Young Ag Professionals. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you today. And we've talked a couple times here about what a great event that meeting is, and we'll touch a little bit more on that later. But we just finished up Thanksgiving, and for me, it's also a big-time Christmas tree farm weekend. And we had a booming weekend. We had really beautiful weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not so great. We got the sideways rain coming across the fields while we were out there cutting trees. And you'd think that would slow people down, but we were still very busy. And when people come out and get a tree, they're out in the sideways rain for 15, 20 minutes, half hour. But the helpers are out there for like 4 hours. So it was a bit of a soggy day yesterday, but a really great day at the tree farm. And we'll just skip over that game that took place on Saturday. Focus on the good weather for Saturday. I think that's probably best. So, Sarah, you just want to tell us a little bit of background about you and your role, and also maybe how your Thanksgiving went and some of your favorite food.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of to segue off of the terrible game that we had this past weekend.
You're not supposed to talk about it, Sarah.
Yeah, so I work for Ohio State. I work here on the CBAS Worcester campus, and I work in the Center for Food Animal Health, which has recently, over the past about year and a half, become a subset of the Department of Animal Sciences. So in my position, I'm a laboratory animal technologist, and I'm also a registered veterinary technician. So essentially, I support a lot of the research studies that we complete here in our department. We focus on animal and public health infectious diseases, and so I support a lot of our researchers, our graduate students, and ultimately my position is veterinary care and ensuring animal care and animal welfare.
Sounds like a lot of smart person stuff to me. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to do. I have my days, I guess, but we have a really great team here, and all of us really put animal care on the top tier for our research studies. So yeah, it's every day is interesting. So today, for example, I had to go pick up sows at a local farm in Loudonville to bring them over here to campus, and then we had a surgery. And I took care of my turkeys. So now I'm here with you guys. So
there's still turkeys left after last Thursday?
Yes, so thankfully our turkeys are a little bit, they're very lucky. So they are solely used as SPF turkeys, which are specific pathogen free. And we essentially gain fertile eggs for research needs.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So speaking of turkey, what was the best food at Thanksgiving? Was it the turkey?
I would say that my favorite is always green bean casserole. So okay. yeah, that's a fave.
Dusty, what about you?
We always have steak.
Steak. You do steak. Okay. I mean, hard to argue with that.
Yeah, that's fancy.
My wife made a delicious custard pie, and I am a huge custard pie fan. And so hands down, I love custard pie. Though I also, like this much below custard pie, I love turkey. I love smoked turkey. I love fried turkey. I love baked turkey. I just love turkey, and it's delicious. And so I really enjoyed custard pie number 1, turkey number 2, because I love turkey. It was a good day. So in terms of the Young Ag Professionals at Farm Bureau, you're very involved in that. We've got the annual meeting coming up next week, and then later this winter, we've got that Young Ag Professionals meeting. And what are some of the highlights you're looking forward to at that YAP meeting, especially in terms of some of the speakers? Because there's a really good lineup of speakers at that event.
Yeah, so we do have a really great lineup, and there's a lot of new things that are going on for this year's Winter Leadership Experience that I could touch on a little bit. But to talk about our speakers, so we had a really great fireside chat last year, so we are going on with that again this year. So we're going to hear from 4 of Ohio's experts to learn about personal branding and really just creating a really great brand and developing businesses. We also have James Lawrence, who is known as the Iron Cowboy, who is going to be sharing his story. And he is our main keynote speaker and just kind of like redefining impossible and how he's done that and how we can incorporate that as attendees into our lives. I think altogether we have 22 breakout sessions. So those will occur on Saturday throughout the day. So Saturday is the main day of the conference. A lot of different topics that are going to be covered. 3 of my favorites, there is one that is the art of negotiation, so can help attendees become more confident in negotiating like pay raises or any other thing that can be involved within agriculture. I really enjoy the conversation that Ohio Farm Bureau has increased on mental health. So we will be having a mental health session and kind of how attendees will learn how to put their overall health kind of on a pedestal, and also helping break down that stigma that still is around regarding mental health, especially in the agricultural industry. And then also, I'm a big time volunteer. So we will be having a session on that. I like to volunteer a lot, so I think that I can grow from that session because I'm not really the best at dividing up my time. So I take a lot on and then I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to get a little burnout.
I've been down that road, Sarah. I know.
Yeah, so those are the 3 that I'm really looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. And then coming up next in the podcast, Dusty has an interview with Justin Welsh. You want to tell us about that, Dusty?
Sure. I had a chance to catch up with Justin last week. He is a veterinarian with Merck Animal Health, and they have a lot of interesting things that they're doing as a company when it comes to new technologies in livestock production. We won't get into details. We'll let him explain more, but it's just fascinating what they're doing with geospatial technology, not necessarily what we're used to on the agronomy side, but in livestock and tracking and fencing livestock and just in detecting the overall health of animals in real time and being able to monitor that. So we'll have that coming up in the podcast and available also with Digital Dale tomorrow morning.
And so we'll hear from Justin, and then we'll hear more from Sarah coming up on the podcast, and you can tune in for that, up at ocj.com. And thanks all for tuning into this portion of the Ohio AgNet podcast.